What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. Apologies for the lack of uploads. Bit of life news. I actually had my first baby, my first daughter, first baby on the 24th of December. I know I didn't upload just before that, but I was sort of preparing for that. We knew it was happening. We knew that my fiance was being induced, so things were sort of all systems go at that point. And obviously with a new baby, it's not super easy. I know some people still make YouTube videos, but just wanted to make sure I was there for both my fiance and my baby. But yeah, so that's the reason why I haven't uploaded. Apologies, I'm going to try and get back on track again now. I've got a bit more normality back in life. We've sort of transitioned into our new life and figuring out how it all is, and feeling a bit better about it all. And I'm able to find time to sort of do these sort of videos again and do things I want to do. But yeah, so just going to chat a little bit about the West Ham game first. Also, it was a couple of days ago now, but the losing 2-0, so it was just yesterday morning, so losing 2-0, probably not the worst thing in the world. I'm not that bothered by losing in the cup. It's you know, I would have liked a cup run, but at the same time, we've got more important things like the league to focus on. So yeah, 2-0 loss, played a lot of youngsters, except for that, not much else to say. It's, yeah, we've got West Ham in the league, we've got other things, we've got bigger fish to fry, and than the FA Cup. So look, you know, maybe next year, maybe if we can stay in the Premier League and maintain our Premier League status, then next year we can go on and go again. I'm not sure how long this video will be. I'm just trying to get a video out to make sure I let you guys know where I've been, and do a bit of that sort of review. But I don't know what else there is to really say about the West Ham game. It's yeah, well, look how good West Ham are. Didn't expect to beat them, don't expect to beat them in the league, but that's not where the fight is. I think everyone knows that that the fight's with the teams in and around us. I'm seeing Newcastle are linked or signed with Kieran Trippier, which is a big signing. That's a step in the right direction. And they're after Swift from Reading, who we have been linked with, but you know, I think his contract's up at the end of the year. They'll get him for a cut price. They'll get him for a pretty cheap price, which is the sort of player that I thought we were going to try and get. And there is rumours about it. But yeah, as usual, we're not sort of in for him. We're looking at Kamara from Marseille. I've actually watched a lot of Marseille this year because Marseille is my sort of like French team. So when I saw Kamara come up as a possible signing, that really interests me. He's a very, very good player. He would fit into Calvin Phillips' spot quite seamlessly. I don't know if that means that we would move to two defensive midfielders, or a double pivot as they call it, or whether that just means that Phillips is going, which is possible. I think he's more likely to stay than Rafinha. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair a lot. It's I need a haircut. So yeah, I don't know if that means that that Phillips is going. It doesn't mean I don't know if it means that he's going to play a bit more of a defensive midfield, two defensive midfielders, and have Forshaw as the backup. And maybe he goes and gets an attacking midfielder, because we do need two midfielders. We need Kamara and we need one more. Kamara doesn't solve our problems. He's basically a Calvin Phillips, pretty much the same sort of player. Goes forward with the same sort of intent. Good defensively, combative, strong. So it's the same mould. So it wouldn't be going out there and getting a replacement for Click, because I think Click's going. I don't see him staying. So interesting. Also being linked with Jed Wallace, which is a weird one. I don't think he's the sort of caliber of player we need to go for. Not saying that we're going to be going for the best in the world, but I think there's a step between what Jed Wallace is and what the top six are getting. I think that is like a Swift, you know, that Ibira Eze sort of level of player that we need to go get for the championship. Whether that be Brereton, which I saw we've been linked with, and I think he'd be fantastic. I know he's not proven, but you know, he's sort of drummed up a price tag of about £30 million now, which I don't know if we'll sum up the money. I mean, that would make him the most expensive player. Rodrigo was trialled in La Liga and he was a Spanish international. So that made sense to spend 30 million on him, whereas 30 million for Brereton Diaz, I don't know if that's the right signing. I think he's a good player, and I'd be really buzzing with the signing, but I just think the price tag would put me off a little bit. So that's just sort of what we're looking at for the transfers as well. What I'd like us to go get. Sorry, it's not really a planned video. I just thought I'll get the pick of the camera up and explain where I've been, and talk about some transfers at the same time, and obviously the West Ham game. But that was like a 30-second chat. I would like us to get another striker. I think we really missed the mark with Edouard or Oderd, however you want to say. I think it's Edouard. Edouard going to Crystal Palace. I think we really missed a trick on that one. I know he's been playing off the bench a bit, but he's fantastic. He would have slipped straight into that striker spot, I think. But hindsight's a great thing with Bamford being injured. We weren't expecting that, were we? So, and Gelhardt's done quite a good job, so I'm happy with him, but I do think we need another striker. Although, Rodrigo, maybe not actually. Rodrigo, Gelhardt, and Bamford. It's just unfortunate they're all injured at the same time. We need two midfielders, need a DM, like I said already, which would be great if it's Kamara, but I don't think it will be. Nandez has been linked again. Phil Hayes said that it's not going to happen, which is, I don't know if this guy's, from what I can tell, there's some issues with either the transfer with him. He's got some sort of court case back in his home country, so I don't know if that doesn't sound like that's going to be a goer. Kamara would be the perfect player. I think you could get him. Sorry, guys. I think you could get him for a decent price, because I think his contract's up at the end of the year, but you'd still be looking at least 15 million. Defensive midfielders are obviously a bit cheaper, but when you got a player of his caliber and his age, he's got a lot of good football ahead. He's younger than Calvin Phillips. I think he's 22. About 22 years old, 22, 23 maybe, off the top of my head. I think when you got that sort of caliber player there, that age, with that money, somebody like a Man United doesn't will come in for him. He would be a perfect fit for Manchester United, if I'm honest with you. I think he would be perfect for them, and what they need. Probably a bit better going forward than Fred and McTominay. I don't know who would play with that of the two, probably McTominay, but he would actually be perfect Man United. Not that I want to talk about Man United because it's a Leeds channel, but with that sort of price, that's the sort of club he'll end up going to, because they'll just, 15 million is nothing to them. 15 million is a lot of money to us at the moment, when from what it sounds like we have no money. So just things are coming to me. Obviously I haven't made a video in 3 weeks, so things are sort of coming to me, and obviously talking about Radrizzani said that we'd have to sell a player or two to fund players coming in, whether that means Rafinha, whether that means Calvin Phillips, whether that means Melier, I don't know. All three would fetch a decent price tag. I think Melier, you'd get 40 for him. I think 40 million is pretty fair for a guy who's been playing Premier League football consistently. He's only 21 years old or whatever he is. Very young goalkeeper. I think you could easily ask 40 to 45 for him and probably get that money. And if they don't buy him, well, let him have another season in the Premier League and watch him grow again. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. I know his distribution needs work, but at the same time, guys, I think that's what... I know that he's got to get better at distributing the ball like that, but that's what he's been asked to do by Bielsa. So there's a good chance that, when he goes putting the ball out wide and it misses targets or gets intercepted, he's doing it because he wants to, because he's been told to, by Bielsa. Sorry, I just had a message come through at the same time and I got distracted by it. So what I would say is, obviously Rafinha's going to go, whether we offer him a new contract to appease the Leeds fans, and then he goes in the summer transfer window. I think that's probably what happens. Bayern Munich, we're looking at Rafinha, but it looks like they're not really that interested. Bayern Munich's a weird one. I would never have thought he would have gone to a Bayern Munich. He doesn't seem like a Bayern Munich kind of player. Not that he doesn't, but they've already got Gnabry and Sane and stuff. I don't think he's what they really need. He wouldn't go to Liverpool because he wouldn't play above Salah, and he couldn't play on the right. instead of Mane if Mane leaves. And I know he's not really in form, and he scored a goal, but he's not really been in form. So I'd say maybe Mane might go, but I couldn't see him playing on the right hand side there. He's a left footer, and he wants to be the inside forward that cuts in and hits it on his left. There's been talk about Callum Phillips and Rafinha and Man United. That won't happen. I don't think we'd sell to Man United. I think maybe when we were in the Championship, but not anymore. And I'll be very disappointed in the club if we did sell to Manchester United. Whether they need the money or not to fund bringing players in. Only thing I would say is, if you sell Rafinha, which I think Rafinha you get 60, 70 for, I think he's worth more. But if he played for a bigger club, not a bigger club, a club higher in the league, if we were, say, 10th, we'd be asking for 70 or 80 for him quite easily, if not more. But I think right now you'd be looking at 60, 65, 70 at a push. Calvin Phillips, I think you could fetch a bit more. English, international, mid-20s, got plenty of football left in him. I think you could ask for 70 or 80 quite easily for him. If we're going to go down, though, obviously it'll be a cut price. So if we are going to do it, we do need to do it now to fund staying up, which I understand that's where we're going to be at as a club. It's what other teams have to do to stay in the Premier League. We're not Leeds United of old with the money that we had back in the day, where you could spend £1 million because £1 million wasn't really that much on a player. But now it's hard to compete. I think if we start with 49ers take over, I think that's sort of what the plan will be, and I think that's been said that the 49ers will take over if we stay in the Premier League. I think Radrizzani he's done his sort of job. I don't know if he'll keep a stake in the club, but I think he's done his job. If he keeps us in the Premier League this year, I think he would have seen that as a success. Getting from the Championship with adversity, great finish for the first year in the Premier League, and then beating the second season syndrome. I think he would have done his legacy proud at Leeds. I think Bielsa, right now, I think Bielsa leaves at the end of the season. I don't think he stays. If we go to the Championship, he might stay, because I think his brand of football and the way that we play suits the Championship, because the teams aren't good enough to counter it. Whereas in the Premier League, we give up too many opportunities, and in the Premier League, people finish opportunities that quite easily. So in the Championship, you give up the ball to Wigan, or you give up the ball to teams like that. I know that Wigan's a bit of a soft spot because we did concede to Wigan after pumping them all game. But you can give the ball away and not concede every single time you give the ball away. But in the Premier League, even against the worst teams, if you give the ball away, they will punish you. So I think if we go to the Championship, Bielsa would work out. Whether that means I don't know if it means we rebuild. I don't know if we'd sell our assets. I don't know if that means that we would, because I think that we've brought in Young just as a contingency plan for going down. So the Gelharts and all that, where Gelhart might be playing Premier League football, but I don't think we sell him if we go down. He's not the player that gets sold. Maybe a Luke Ayling, I think he'd probably stay with us. Maybe Luke Ayling, I think we'd keep Cooper. We'd lose Melier, we'd lose maybe Llorente. I don't know about Robin Koch as well. Junior Furper might stay because he hasn't really done a lot, so he might stay. Forshaw would stay. Phillips would have to sell. Quick's going anyway, I think, but he may stay, but I think we'd better off selling him. Somerville will be coming on into the squad. I think he'd do really well in the Championship, so at this stage. Obviously Gelhard, Creswell would be fantastic, so we could pretty much put him straight in the centre-back spot. We'd lose Melier. I don't know if Klaassen will be the guy that we would keep, but we'd lose Melier. And the thing is, if you lose a player for 45, 50 million, we lose him for 40 million and you go and buy a decent keeper for 5-10 in the Championship, you've made some money on it. So we would have to just trim the squad back, because I think we're spending £100 million on wages, so we trim the squad back. That's including your Rafinha, your Calvin Phillips, Melier, and a few others. Rodrigo would probably go, I would say. And I think Dan James would go. Jack Harrison, that's an interesting one. He hasn't played very well, so he might not have a choice but to stay. or someone like a Burnley might pick him up. I don't know. I mean, they are going down with us, but you get what I mean. So that's the sort of what I'm looking at. I think that we're going young, so when we go to the Championship, we'll have those young players like your Creswells, your Somervilles, your Gelhards, Lewis Bate that will come in, and you sprinkle some quality with the money you get from the big signings to make a decent Championship squad. I think that's what they're sort of going for, and I think it would be a very good Championship squad because why not? I think those are good, solid players. Good young players that are future Premier League players. So you go down, you give them a couple of years in the Championship, because Lewis Bates got plenty of time to kill in the Championship with us. Same with Gelhard, he's got a couple of years. He's probably got 2 years in the Championship before someone snaps him up. So why can't we be one of those clubs that if we do go down, fingers crossed we don't, but if we do go down, that we have some good quality talent in there, unlike other years where we didn't have anyone, and that's not been me. Even when we went up into the Premier League, the only asset we really had was, I would say, well, Ben White, but he was on loan, but it was Calvin Phillips. Except for that, we didn't have anyone that was like a proven Premier League player that we knew was going to be absolutely fantastic in the Premier League. The only one that I knew was Calvin Phillips. Bamford we were unsure about. Obviously, he did very, very well, and we did get surprised by a lot of players. But as proven this year, a lot of them don't have what it takes to be in the Premier League, and they need that quality around them. So that's the interesting thing. We didn't really go up with a star-studded squad. We didn't have a Wolves or a Newcastle sort of squad where it was Newcastle, and I know that the players aren't great, but Newcastle had a good championship squad. They had a squad that was an in-between Premier League and Championship, where they were the best in the Championship but just couldn't quite start up in the Prem. And keep those sort of players and have that quality around. Wolves obviously proving that they did have the quality, and they did. They blitzed the league, and they were way too good for the Championship. So we didn't have any of that. And Fulham's even that sort of awkward spot where they've probably got their players that they bring in are probably too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Prem. So it's an awkward spot that we never were at. We just had a really good system, really good team, really good culture. That's what got us there in the end. So. But yeah, anyway, I'll leave it on that. That's my thoughts on everything that's going on at Leeds at the moment. Again, thanks for sticking around, and the new subscriber that I received. Obviously, been difficult for me to make videos, but hopefully get the ball rolling again. I'm going to look at some transfers, try to get a video out every day about transfers and things. It'll be simple videos where I'm doing this when I'm just holding a camera and chatting to you. The best thing about football content is I don't have to make it fancy. It doesn't have to be anything great. It doesn't need to be highly produced yet anyway, but it just needs to be me talking to a camera and letting you know what I'm thinking. I will say having a baby's put it into perspective how little Leeds mean, because that's not the case. I love Leeds United and I follow them to the ends of the earth no matter what. I'll be upset if we go down, but losing a game of football really doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of life. So hopefully my videos will be more positive at times, because I know I can be quite negative on videos. But maybe I can look at a more middle ground look at it. So positives and negatives, and just put it all out there, because sometimes if I'm in a bit of negative mood, it can be just everything's negative. So I'll try and do put a bit more effort into my post-match if we do lose. If we win, it's easy to talk about your football club when we win. We've had a bit more of that recently, but I started this channel at the start of the season when we weren't winning games, and I haven't really had that much chance to make good videos about how we're winning and how it's been positive. And that may have negatively impacted who sticks around as a subscriber and who watches my videos. So again, I appreciate everyone here who has subscribed. I appreciate new subscribers. If you could drop me a like and a comment and a subscribe, that would be fantastic. I am going to try and get the videos going again. It's just unfortunate that life got in the way a little bit, but now I can start getting the ball rolling again and bring out some transfer news and stuff. I'll go get my coffee in the morning and have a look at who's got a new gaming laptop, so I can do my research on that. But I can go on there and just look at some transfer news and bring it to you guys and my thoughts on it and whether I think it's realistic or not. I do watch a lot of football outside of England, and I watch a lot of English football, but mainly I watch a lot of French football. So if there is any players from there, there is some good players that I'd like us to get in, but it's just whether it's realistic or not. Because I think the French league is a good difference between the Premier League and the Championship. It's probably that middle ground. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And again, thank you very much for watching, and peace.